Hey everybody, this is disability attorney Michael Einer. Important video, because one thing that I get asked by people from time to time, very often people come to us knowing that we are the best attorney to hire for their disability claim. But from time to time, people have questions, and they want to know, how do I know that you are the best attorney to handle my disability case? So, and I think that it's good to question the attorney before you hire them. So I've prepared a list of questions that I think you should ask an attorney before hiring them. So here's the things that I think you should ask. First, I think that before hiring an attorney to represent you on your disability case, you should ask them, how much of your practice is devoted to representing, people before the Social Security Administration? How much of your practice is devoted to disability claims? If somebody's, only spending a quarter of their time on disability cases, that's probably somebody that's not going to have the same understanding of the process as somebody that's, 100% of their practice is devoted to disability cases. And similarly, another important question to ask is, how much experience does the attorney or law firm have handling Social Security cases? Have they just gotten into handling Social Security cases? Did they just open up shop last month or last year? Or have they been handling Social Security disability cases for the last 10 or 15 years? For example, we have been handling Social Security disability cases at Liner Legal since we opened our doors many years ago. That is all we do. Another good question to ask is, what type of experience will I be having working with the office? What will it be like to work with the case managers or paralegals? What will it be like to work with the lawyers? Will I be interacting with lawyers directly? Will I be mostly interacting with support staff? That's an important question to ask. A lot of times people hire a law firm expecting that every time they, call on the phone, a lawyer is going to be the one, on the other end of the line, which might not always be the case. And it's important that you have your expectations met and addressed right at the beginning of the representation. Another important question to ask is, will you be getting my records, or what's going to be expected of me as the client? Am I going to have to go and get my own medical records? Or are you, as the law firm, going to go and get the medical records for me? Are you going to fill out paperwork? As the law firm, am I going to be, as the client, responsible for filling out paperwork or handling phone calls from Social Security? Those are very important questions that you want addressed right at the beginning. What is the division of responsibilities between the law firm and the client? Another important question to ask, will you cover case expenses? Fortunately in Ohio, we don't have to pay for medical records for our clients, but in many other parts of the country, people do have to pay for medical records, and there are other case expenses that can come up. But one thing you definitely want to make sure of is who's going to be paying for what. If any money has to go out on the case, you definitely want to find out, what are those costs going to be, and if there are costs that you as the client are responsible for, who's going to be covering them? And at the end of the case, are you going to be responsible for paying them back? The last and final question that I think that any client or somebody that's getting ready to work with a law firm, even if you're just looking to work with a law firm as a potential referral partner, that you should always ask, how long does it take to get questions answered? The number one difference, I think, between a happy client and an unhappy client is the communication in the process. And when somebody calls the office, do they get there? Is there always somebody there to answer the phone, or at least can they expect that they're going to get a call back relatively quickly, within an hour or a few hours? It's impossible to answer every single phone call right when the phone rings, but is there at least a reasonable expectation that after, if you call somebody in the morning, that you'll get a call back that same morning or early in the afternoon with an answer from somebody that can give you an answer to the question that you asked. So having the rules of communication and expectations for how communication is going to go at the office set up right at the beginning of the representation is so important to the total vibrancy of the of the communication. And I really think that it is so important that those questions are answered right at the beginning of the representation, and will make such a better relationship between the client as well as the law firm. So I hope that this video helps you if you're considering hiring a law firm. I know that these are things that when we are deciding how we want to improve our client experience, these are always things that we are making sure that we've addressed and covered with our clients.